Hello, everyone. Welcome to a professionally unprofessional podcast. I am Calvin, once again joined by my good friends Reese and Elliot.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
And it's the first PlayStation showcase since September 2021 happened.
God damn. I guess all the other ones have just been state of plays, in all fairness.
They've all been
Yeah.
state of plays up until recently. Up until this one. This one is the first one was labeled a PlayStation showcase. So I think it was fair to say the expectations going into this were quite high.
Definitely, yeah.
Honestly, I didn't really go. I just treated it as I went, the same as you two, just went in with no expectations.
I kind of went in with quite high expectations. I must be honest.
One second, Nicole.
Hang on a second. So I must be honest. I went into this whole thing with with a few expectations because I'd been on the. How much have you been on the rumor mill, Reese?
Just what you've been sharing, really.
Yeah. Okay. So I went in to the rumor mill with. I'd heard about MGS.
Yeah.
I'd heard. I wasn't thinking of. There was a few things I was thinking were going to show up, and I was going to show up, but I kind of went in thinking the third parties are going to be the dominant thing here.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say in a PlayStation showcase.
Yeah. Because the only thing they showed off extensively was Spider-Man 2.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that. That was the obvious one that was going to show up. Spider-Man 2 was going to show up.
Yeah, but everything else was shorter trailers, not as much in-depth. Like the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, that was like all CGI.
Well, yeah, again, we'll get into the topic as we go from game to game, but I'm going to be interested to get some thoughts on that one. There was a few, but that was a weird thing because there was a few.
Sorry about that. Dog just came back. She's been at the groomers today.
Oh, that's nice. Getting her summer coat ready. But
sorry, go on.
But there was a few third companies I was expecting to show up that didn't show up, and there was a few that did show up that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So one third party company I was expecting to show up was Sega, and they didn't really show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even any news about more site DLC or anything.
No.
I feel like that would be something we see at like a Nintendo or like a Summer Games Fest kind of thing, in all fairness.
Actually, there is another showcase that I think they're going to show up at, which I'm not going to go into detail.
The only one thing I could think of that Sega might have shown off would be a new Yakuza, but we recently got like a Dragon Nishin. I'm not expecting we're going to get like a Yakuza 8 or Gaiden, I think they've, as the fans have called it, anytime soon.
Well, there was two things from Sega I was that could have potentially been here, in my opinion, other than Sonic Frontiers DLC, which were something from Atlas, but Atlas, I think, are doing... Atlas, I don't believe, are at this. I think they're at the Xbox show. And also, if the rumours are to be believed... it wasn't going to be Persona 6, because from what I've heard, Persona 6...
From what I've heard, we're now getting something called Persona T.
Persona 5...
Persona 5T.
That's... The trademark has been filed for Persona 5T, but there's another Persona game that's probably going to come out before that.
Yeah.
And I've also... From what I've heard, Persona 6 is late next year.
Yeah, I'm not expecting we're going to get 6 for a while.
I think we'll see it before the end of the year. I feel like the Game Awards. Imagine how big are the Game Awards, and it's like Persona 6 reveal.
Well, you think they would have done a trailer or a teaser at least for the anniversary this year?
Apparently, the plan was for Persona 6 to be in the anniversary, but they thought, this is quite a while off. We don't need to show it now. I think they've looked at Persona 5's marketing and said, maybe we should have held off this a bit sooner than we did.
Yeah, because Persona 5 was announced when the PS3 was still a thing.
Yeah, that was a long time to come out. Like, that was a PS3 game coming out in 2017. Anyway, so let's get on with the game. So, first game was from Haven Studios, and this is one of the two studios that Sony purchased before they'd ever made a game.
Yeah.
This is the studio that's run by Jade Raymond. She tried to get a deal for this studio going with Google before Google Stadia collapsed. And it's cool, but she then signed a deal with Sony, and they then said, "Do you know what? We'll buy you." This is the game they wanted. Apparently, it's called Fair Games. And
No, don't you mean Fair Game Dollar?
yeah, it's a $ in the S, which fun. Here's the thing, though. I watched it. I will say I watched this entire conference with my cousin, and he said at the end of it, "I have no idea what this game is. It just looks like a weird Mirror's Edge with team shooter."
No, the vibe I got from it was kind of a more serious Saints Row.
Yeah, but it's very clear this is a live service game. It's a team shooter, and it's coming sometime in the future. They didn't give a date to it, but this looked really off to me, to be honest. This was not a good way to start.
It just looks like a heist game, really. It seems like it's mostly just going to be you and friends pulling heists and whatnot.
The only thing that surprised me about this is it will have a day one PC version, and this is something that's going to show up quite a bit. Sony seems to be looking at the PC market, specifically for their live service games. They're looking at the PC market to say we can release day one.
Yeah, they have announced that they are going to keep putting up their first party titles on PC, but that's going to be, they said it's going to be like 2 or 3 years after they've been exclusive for PlayStation.
So it's gonna, yeah, but again, this one is going to be day one. So it appears the strategy is that's for the single player games. The multiplayer live service games will go day one PC. Next up, well, by the way, Reese, what did you think of Fair Games?
Not really that much comments on because we didn't see that much of it, but I was expecting like a minigame collection when I heard the title.
Yeah, it does sound like it should be a minigame collection. Next up, Arrowhead Studios. This is a weird sequel to get, but I'm glad we got it. Helldivers 2.
I'm going to be honest, at first, I thought this was going to be a Starship Troopers game.
So did I.
I thought the same thing,
where you see, like, the propaganda, the monsters. You just kind of thought, oh, do they do Starship Troopers?
I was thinking, wow, that's a hell of a license that Sony got.
Yeah.
So not Starship Troopers, Helldivers 2.
I mean, if we did get a Starship Troopers game, I would not be complaining.
No, I would love a Starship Troopers game, but as long as it's based more on the movie than the book.
Let's be honest, everyone just knows the movie. I don't think that many people really know about the book.
Yep, and everyone tries to forget the sequels.
Oh,
dear God, the sequels.
Oh God.
Even though somehow the third one was the one with the power suits, which were in the book originally.
Yep, and all the pilots drive them while naked, for some reason.
Anime logic at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we know we're dying in the thanks God's inspiration.
I must be honest, Helldivers 2, I didn't play the original Helldivers, so I don't really know that much about it. But, I mean, fans of the original, I'm glad they got this.
Yeah.
Looks alright.
All three of you.
Next up, it was a game, really didn't know what to make of this one. It's called Immortals of Avium.
It's actually, if I remember, I can't remember what conference it was at. I think it was one of the Jeff Keighley ones, but do you remember that teaser trailer of the guy in like a heavenly place walking out the doors, like being invaded by aliens? I think it's that one.
Yeah, I think it is that one, but this trailer didn't do anything for me, this one.
Yeah, it just looks like Forspoken with less cringy dialogue.
Which is, that being...
I'm saying that. It looks way more interesting than Forspoken was.
There's, well, we won't have to wait long. It comes out July 20th. I mean, if this went to Xbox Game Pass, I might give it a try, but as it stands, not really my thing. And this will release on Xbox Series X as well as PC and PlayStation 5. Ghost Runner 2?
Yeah, I was not expecting the second Ghost Runner game, not gonna lie.
Yeah, because I didn't think many people played the original, which is a really good game.
I've heard good things about the original, so I'm not disappointed.
Definitely not.
This also is not a PlayStation exclusive. It will show up on PC and Xbox Series X. I've got to be honest, this was the point where I was going, oh dear, this has not been a strong start to the conference, because, yeah, it's great if you care about Helldivers and Ghost Runner that are getting sequels, but if you're like me and didn't really know much about the original two games, you're like, I don't really care about this.
Yeah.
So next one up, and this is one where Elliot...
this one looks awesome. This one looks amazing.
Elliot called review dibs on this one. It's called Phantom Blade Zero.
It looks great. Yeah, I can't lie. And from what I've seen on Twitter, everyone agrees. Everyone says it is one of the highlights.
Do you know, this was a little bit disappointing for me, because as soon as I saw the first couple of screenshots, I thought, oh shit, Bloodborne. And then they got more shots, like, no, it's not Bloodborne.
Nah, I saw all the Chinese stuff, and my first thought was DLC for Will Long Follow Dynasty, honestly.
Also, while we're on the subject, I do love the fact that David Jaffe is getting it in the neck for spreading an unbased rumor that Bloodborne was getting a PC port at this conference.
Yeah.
Because
wait, was that the same guy who fixed Tears of the Kingdom with AI?
Yeah, it's the same guy who did the fix on the art and then complained that Metroid Dread was too complicated.
Oh god.
So whatever shit gets flung his direction I've got no problem with.
Same.
It's but Phantom Blade Zero, I said to Joe, as long as there's no frame rate drops and it can flow this well, this combat is going to be amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I just saw like how the combat was working. I was just like, I'm fucking playing this. This is a day one play for me.
At the minute, this is a PS5 exclusive. What about you? I want to ask you, Reese. Do you want to buy Phantom Blade Zero after seeing this trailer?
Oh, definitely. If anything, I'm worried about the poor mocap actors, because my god, the stunt work looks so good.
Yeah, I want to say that, because a lot of this is mocap, so there's going to be a hell of pressure on them. But yeah, no, I said to Joe, promise. This has promise, but I want to see a little. Yeah. I'm a little more apprehensive. I want to see a little more.
The only thing that has me slightly worried is that how muted the color palette looks. It's very grayscale.
Yeah, but if it suits,
honestly, I kind of think it suits it. I think it sort of like matches the style.
If it
suits... if it's going down sort of the what a lot of Chinese inspired games are doing and going into like the Three Kingdoms era, I feel like it would suit it.
It definitely feels like correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like there's a bit of Berserk inspiration in this.
Yeah, I can see that actually, kind of.
It does have a bit of effect of After the Eclipse type look to it. So there's I don't say a massive, just a little bit of Berserk influence on it.
Yeah.
No release date in sight for that one, but that's one to keep an eye on. Next one, game coming out in 2024. It's by the same studio. It's by Giant Squid Games, who made who made games like Abzu and The Pathless.
You're forgetting Journey.
No, that's a different studio. It's the same art director as Journey working on this, but it's not the same studio. That's that game company made Journey. Yeah. This is Giant Squid.
Well, it doesn't look a hell of a lot like Journey does.
Yeah, no,
same staff.
I think I can imagine the meeting there was just someone saying, fuck it, we've towed the line, let's just do Journey.
Yeah.
I love the title of the game, Sword of the Sea.
Yeah, it sounds like a sequel to Wind Waker.
Yeah, it's definitely true, but my god, the art on this looks great.
Yeah.
What do you think, Elliot, of this one?
It involves a guy surfing on a sword. I'm sold.
Yeah, I must be honest. I thought I was going to be the only one who was sold on this one. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It does come out in 2024. I think it'll be a really good one. That one actually. So I'm excited for that. Game coming out later. Next up, game coming out later this year. The Talos Principle 2.
I didn't play the first one.
Me neither. Don't really know anything about it.
This trailer didn't do much for me.
Yeah, it was pretty much just showing CGI locations.
which
Yeah.
that doesn't really do much for me. Next game up was a game from the teaser trailer from the game company that made Gris, which I really like that game when it came out. Certainly a beautiful looking game, and this one looks set to do the same. It's called Never.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what they'll do with this one. It looks like it'll be pretty similar to Gris.
The art style is similar, at least.
Yeah. The art style, if nothing else, is very similar to Gris. Did either of you guys play that one?
No,
I didn't know.
It's a shame you missed out of it when it was on Game Pass, because that it's not an extraordinary 2D platformer, but it is a very good looking one, and I actually would recommend people give it a go if it goes on sale. Next game comes out.
Cal's highlight of the press conference.
Yeah, 2024 Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean. I knew
not on this article.
I knew when I saw that there's no way I'm going to come out looking good saying that this was one of the highlights of the conference for me, because this looks.
There you go.
This game looks fucking brilliant.
Yeah, like the over the shoulder map reminds me of the earlier Dragon Quest and Final Fantasies.
Yeah, it does have a similar quality to that.
Yeah.
That being said, I do want to. What do you guys think of Cat Quest?
That's
That's
interesting.
great. Very cute art style.
So we're I thought it was a bit soon to show it since it's coming out next year, but I'm dead excited for it. It also comes to Xbox, PC. No knowledge of a Switch port at this point.
Which you think they would, because that art style will look great on the Switch.
Yeah, it looks like it's something that will suit the console very well.
The only thing that was Switch confirmed in this conference was Never. The Indie World account tweeted out that Never was coming to.
Actually, there is another thing. One sec. There was a game that was announced in this one, that was shown up in this one, that got a separate Switch trailer. Give me a sec. The Plucky Squire.
That's the one that's coming up too. That was not the next trailer. That was the trailer after the Cat Quest one. But again, I would have thought Cat Quest would suit being on the Switch.
Yeah, definitely the home of animal mascots.
I feel like maybe we might get a port later down the line. Or maybe Nintendo are waiting to announce it themselves, like a direct.
They might get the shadow drop, like say in Indie World next year, and they say, "Oh, by the way, Cat Quest is out today." So next one, it was the.
By the way, PC Gamer, fix your website. It's bugging out like crazy.
Oh, thank you. The next game. This is a weird one. It's by Square Enix. It's called Foam Stars, and it's Splatoon.
Yep, it's copyright infringement, the game.
Literally everyone, I saw this, I was just like, okay, this is 100% just Splatoon. Square Enix just recreates Splatoon.
It's just make it even more anime than Splatoon was, and replace the paintball with foam party. Like, it's not even trying. We were just looking at it. I remember we were watching it going, I cannot believe they're getting with this level of plagiarism. But it has no concrete release date. It's also one of the few PlayStation 5 exclusives in this. So they basically just said, "Can we get Splatoon on PlayStation 5?"
I was like, I just saw Square Enix, and I just thought, they made this?
Yeah.
I'm wondering which studio Square Enix gave this to, because this is a weird release for them.
Like, it looks like something I expect Sega to make, like the guys that made Balan Wonderworld.
I've got a horrible feeling about this game, and this is not confirmed, I should stress, or in any way. So it's just my worries is that this game is going to be an NFT game.
Oh, I hope not.
You've got to look at that and feel this has the vibes of they're going to sell NFTs with this.
Yeah.
We know Square Enix is not abandoning that NFT measure. They're certainly downscaling it because it hasn't sold as well as they hoped it would. But
yeah, because the NFT market is crashed, basically.
Yeah, the NFT market's crashed. And Square are not run by idiots. They know that this has crashed. And they're basically just saying, right, everything that we've done already, we're not going to stop. but we're not going to start anything new. So if this was in development for quite a while, it might be. I think if nothing else, the microtransactions are going to be in this thing. This is going to be very microtransaction.
Oh
heavy.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Do we think this is a free game, or is it going to be or is this going to be a game where we're going to be charged a small amount and then charge the microtransactions?
I think it'll be free because it'll incentivize more people to pick it up, and then they'll fall into the trap of microtransactions.
I think it'll be £20 off of PS Plus, and they'll put it on PS Plus as well. I think that's the marketing strategy for it. So
yeah,
probably. Next up, the game Elliot just mentioned, the Plucky Squire.
This game looks cute.
So adorable.
It looks so adorable. I love it.
This was another highlight for me because it looks like Mario Odyssey in several ways, mixed with a bit of Zelda. Because think about it.
I'm really digging the whole storybook aspect.
Yeah, I love that so in the start of a children's storybook.
I love the 2D to 3D effect. That looks awesome. Yeah. Honestly, this one is a highlight for me. It's coming out later this year, so I'm dead excited to give this one a go.
Definitely.
Next game, I completely forgot about this one. Teardown.
I think.
Yeah. This is a PC game.
Yeah, I thought this was a PC game. I remember some Tear of Grace played it a good while ago. It looked like fun.
Yeah, on PC, it's got a huge community following.
Yeah, because I was saying I've never heard of this, and then Joe told me, because he's more of a PC gamer than I am. This has been a big thing on PC, and a bunch of people on Twitch have been playing it. This was basically to announce that this is coming to consoles, because the Xbox Series X is also getting it same day.
Yeah.
I mean,
I doubt the Switch will ever be able to run it though, considering everything's destructible.
If they try to get this working on Switch, it's going to just chug to pieces. I mean, look how much effort they had to do to get things not to chug in Tears of the Kingdom and the size of that world.
Yeah.
Next game this was the highlight of the whole conference. This is the highlight of the whole conference for me, even though we didn't learn too much about it.
And also the reason why I think everyone's saying that they were saying disappointed by the conference, that nothing good was announced. But this is where I tell them to shut up.
Yeah,
I'm not sorry you didn't get The Last of Us Part 3.
Well, actually, it was going to be the game they thought it was going to be was Last of Us Factions, the multiplayer game. But
and my response is, you got Last of Us Part 1 remake last year. Calm down.
Yeah, I think we'll see Last of Us Factions soon. I reckon Jeff Keighley's got it, but never mind. Anyway, so we got Metal Gear Solid. We got a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake called Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Oh, can't wait! Yeah, I can't wait to play Metal Gear Solid Triangle. And then after that,
Triangle Strategy.
And then after that, we'll get Metal Gear Solid Square, then Metal Gear Solid Circle. And then they'll all end with Metal Gear Solid X.
People have been already making that joke quite a bit, which it wouldn't exactly work because Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is going to come to Xbox Series X and PC as well, so those gamers are not missing out on it. But I think Sony's got the marketing deal on it more than anything else.
Yeah.
So from what I've heard, apparently they're doing Delta first. They're doing a remake of 3 first. Then they're going to go on to 1 and 2. It's just from what I might have heard, or like some speculation that people are saying on Twitter. There's doing it in chronological order.
There is a bit of a suspicion that they're going to go in chronological order, but again, nothing's confirmed at this point. The only thing I've heard, and I'm happy to ask some people about it, but at the minute, this is what I reckon we're keeping. I think it was a good idea to drop the number 3 from it, because I think that's going to throw people off from playing it if they think they have to play 2 games beforehand to get the full story on this one, even though Metal Gear Solid 3 is a prequel to the whole series.
I feel like it's kind of known that 3 is a prequel. It's like it would be like saying with the Silent Hill 2 remake, like it would be like saying that game you have to play the first one to know what was happening in the second. You don't. I think most people know that.
Yeah, but I think here's the thing though. There's a bunch of people who've never played Metal Gear Solid until now. They don't. and we're going to be this game is going to introduce Metal Gear Solid to a whole new generation of people. And what's more, with Silent Hill, and even with Silent Hill, that did actually happen. There was a bit of Twitter conversation saying, why are we not getting Silent Hill 1 remake first? How am I going to get the story with 2? And those people saying, you are aware that these stories are entirely separate. You would need to play Silent Hill 1 to understand Silent Hill 3, but Silent Hill 2 is very much its own thing.
I think part of that conversation was because people were saying Silent Hill 1 is a game that needs remaking the most.
Yeah, Silent Hill 1 is a bit of a rough game.
Yeah, that game really needs a remake.
But the other thing that was announced in this was the Metal Gear Solid collection that's coming out in autumn of this year.
So we're getting the first 3 games?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3.
And I think they also said we're getting the first 2 NES games as well.
I think there is a rumor that they're going to add Metal Gear 1 and 2 to the mix. Or I really hope they're adding the PC Engine versions and rather than the NES versions, because the NES versions are compromised as shit versions of those games.
Honestly, the ones I like to see most added up to those 3 are the PSP games.
Portable Ops and
Acid.
Acid. That'd be a weird one to transfer over, considering it has nothing to do with the continuity.
I mean, you say that. I think most of us still want the Metal Gear Rising remake.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I want a new Metal Gear Rising game so badly.
See, here's the thing.
That's been as popular as ever, due to memes.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
though.
Thanks for that, Maxor.
Here's the thing, though. Metal Gear Solid 4 is not in the collection yet, and that to me feels a bit off, considering 4 is the conclusion to the whole storyline.
Yeah.
In all fairness, I think they just want to throw in the trilogy at the minute. They want to just sort of throw in the more iconic games.
I don't.
At this point, because you need to remember, 4 is one of the more mixed ones.
In terms of a lot of aspects of the game, I agree, but I would say in terms of the storyline, it's the perfect ending to Metal Gear Solid. And it's very clear this is what Kojima's vision for Metal Gear Solid was. But
also, let's not forget, if we do get Metal Gear Solid 3, it will require us to stream it.
Yeah.
Because it's a PS3 game.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4, I think at the minute it is the PC Engine. Actually, no, I don't think it is on PS Plus at the minute, weirdly. I don't think they have put it on there, even for streaming.
No, I don't think they have.
Which it's really bizarre. It's like Konami doesn't want no one playing this. And I feel like, but it's the conclusion. It's the end of the story to that.
Again, it's mixed.
Well,
sure, it's got 30 hours worth of cutscenes alone, but...
Yeah, I feel like it's mixed in terms of gameplay, but I think no one said the storyline was weak, and it does... And I think so maybe they're looking at that one...
Yeah.
Also, again, with that one, it's not Sony now having to develop a PS3 emulator. It would be Konami or whatever studio they've got making this collection would have to make a PS3 emulator to power it. What do you guys think of the MGS collection? Is it going to be something you guys pick up?
Oh, I will, yeah.
Maybe. I've already mentioned I'm not massive on Metal Gear Solid. Like I appreciate the series. I appreciate the series, but I'm not into stealth games. The only one I've actually got into in the past is Dishonored. That's about it.
It's weird because Metal Gear Solid is one of my favorite video game storylines of all time, and I really mean that. I absolutely love the storylines in these games, but. And admittedly, I do have the HD collection for 2 and 3, but I've been looking for a way to get the first one. So I will buy it just for Metal Gear Solid 1. So it's not confined to my PS1 Mini. Which again is the only reason I bought that. I only bought the PS1 Mini so I could play... I had an easy way to play Tekken 3 and Metal Gear Solid 1.
Not Final Fantasy 7?
Well, there's plenty of ways to play Final Fantasy 7. It's on my Switch, it's on my PlayStation 5. I got...
At this point,
it's on your calculator.
No, that's Doom.
Yeah.
Which can run on a calculator
Somehow.
Incidentally, the next, incidentally, that is so to have a way to play Metal Gear Solid 1 again would be amazing. I do find it a bit off that Konami removed these titles from digital shelves only to put them back on in a new collection that's probably going to cost more.
Well, that's it, just to wring more money out of the customers.
Which, I mean, that's fine.
Unless they put them separately onto PS Plus.
Well, the weird thing is, apparently, as well, I don't know if these are going to be the HD versions of these games or if they're going to be just emulations of the original releases. Which that I want to wait and see on that one. But if it's any way to play MGS1, I'll take it. Incidentally, there is talk that David Hayter is coming back to reprise the role of Snake for the remake.
I really hope so.
I'll be disappointed if he wasn't.
Yeah, because it was like when we got Metal Gear Solid 5, Kiefer Sutherland is a fine enough actor, but I missed David Hayter in that role.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So next.
Just before we move on as well, they also announced the Metal Gear Solid board game.
Oh yes, I shared
at the same time.
That was so bizarre.
Yeah. Because no one was expecting that.
God damn.
Next game, it's a game called Tower of Agsabar.
It's not on this list.
Hang on, I'll get up the trailer for it. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've got a trailer up.
Incidentally, it's the first thing that comes up on YouTube when you type it in. Oh, yes, I remember this now. It looks pretty, but this was like, wow, you're doing the Breath of the Wild ripoff.
Yeah, and it has some way to plant forests and everything, and so potentially it's limitless customization of a world.
I mean, that would be amazing if it works, but...
Yeah.
This one just... I'm going to be honest, this one just does not look appealing to me.
Like...
Oh, yeah. I've just gone to a trailer where the character literally uses Link's paraglider to go on top of the giant manta race.
That was just... At that point, I was just like, wow, you're not even trying to cover up that this is a Breath of the Wild clone.
Yeah.
But that being said, I looked at Breath of the Wild, especially now playing Tears of the Kingdom at the minute. I'm looking at that saying I kind of want that to be the format for open worlds going forwards. So I'm glad there's someone taking up that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that we've got so many Breath of the Wild clones at this point.
Elliot, what do you think of the look of Towers of Agsabar?
Not interested.
It doesn't really do much for me. Unless someone tells me it's an amazing game, I'm going to probably skip this one.
Yeah, I'll probably skip it unless the world customization is like really in-depth and interesting.
Then we got to the double Elliot section of the show. We got another trailer for Final Fantasy 16.
I'll be honest, I muted the phone and just put it down at that point. I did not want any spoilers.
Can I be honest? I didn't want there to be another Final Fantasy 16 trailer before the game came out, but we got it there because I've seen so much of Final Fantasy 16 now. I just want to get the game on my hands. I just got the email to say that my collector's edition is been dispatched.
Hey,
I got my one like a week ago. Bloody hell, that's the most I've ever spent on any game.
Yeah, same. I actually didn't realize how much I spent till I hit checkout, and I was like, "Wait, how much have I spent?"
No, I knew how much. No, I knew how much I had spent, but I was holding off on it for like a month. The day we went out to Miami was literally the day I bought it.
There's I was hoping that this would come with the demo that would give us the first couple of hours of the game. It hasn't. From what I've heard, because I listened to Nate the Hate's prediction podcast, he reckons we'll get the demo at Summer Games Fest. There'll be another trailer for Final Fantasy 16 then, and the demo will come after the show, and we'll get like the first 2 or 3 hours of the game, and then our save data carries over to the main game.
And I'm still looking at I don't really play demos, I'll be honest, as I said before.
I do play demos if it carries over my save data, because it feels like you're getting the game a little early. So I did that with Octopath Traveler 2. I did it with Neo: The World Ends With You. I did it with.
But honestly, I'd just rather wait for the game to come out. Honestly.
I know, but I'm incredibly impatient.
Yeah, as we know, considering how much you complained about Bayonetta 3 getting delayed every time it did.
I stand by that. That was a ridiculously early they showed that game off. But the next game was, I'm glad Elliot unmuted this because it's one that was made for him. I heard that this game might be getting real to showcase, but I kept my lid shut because I knew it would be Elliot's best moment ever. There you go. Yep. So Alan
Wake 2, baby.
It's coming out October 17th.
Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good.
Here's the thing though, Elliot. Well, how are you going to divide your time if Silent Hill 2 comes out the week after it?
I would just play this.
Yes, I was going to say. So we're taking Silent Hill 2. You're taking Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, I mean, dude, as I keep saying, Alan Wake is one of my favorite games. I kind of have to.
It comes out
with this one.
It comes out October 17th. Reese, are you going to pick up Alan Wake 2, do you reckon, or are you going to skip it?
I'll probably skip it. I'm not the biggest fan of the original.
Do you reckon?
We can always watch Ren butcher it on stream again.
Oh God.
No. Absolutely not.
Oh God, that was painful to watch. Oh man. At least...
No, the more painful bit for me was just the fact that he kept complaining about it, and I was just sitting there thinking, I really, really like this game though.
I know, he kept complaining about it and he wasn't playing it right. And I'm like, fuck's sake, man. You are
Well, now you know how we all feel watching you play, Cal.
At least I lived long enough in Resident Evil 4. I barely died in that one.
Well,
let's move on quickly before I get even more humiliated by some of the stupid shit I did in Resident Evil 4.
All I'll say is thank God you're not playing it anymore.
Alan Wake 2...
And I'm still holding by your ban from playing Resident Evil on stream.
What happens when we get Code Veronica remake next year?
I'll play it. Or I'll get Ren to play it.
Incidentally, I'm considering re-streaming Resident Evil 4 remake later on this year for a reason. For a reason that's coming up later in this thing. But let's talk a bit more about Alan Wake 2. It comes out October 17th. It's going to be PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Obviously, Epic Game Store exclusive because they're publishing it.
Of course.
So presumably, Elliot, you're getting the PS5 version.
Obviously.
Here's the thing I'm going to ask you, Elliot. Has the whole fact that the game's a bit cheaper, but it's digital only, put you off a bit? How do you feel about the fact that this will not have a physical release?
Doesn't really bother me. I mean, I feel like Remedy is definitely going... Honestly, I've heard a lot of people give Remedy a lot of praise for this because a lot of people do have the belief that digital games should be cheaper than the physical ones. So yeah, I'm honestly okay with that.
Yeah,
I feel like we'll be getting a physical game down the line anyway.
See, that's the thing. Apparently, actually, I would say I don't think we are, for the reason being that they stated that the reason they didn't want to do it was they didn't want to have an extra download on the disc. Which, to me, that says, unless they figure out a way to make that discs with more storage capacity cheaper, they're not going to do that. And I'm wondering how other game companies are going to follow suit. Like, let's say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is huge, like bigger than we ever expected. Considering the last one required 2 discs to get it installed, how much do we think... What if they decide that's way too much money for us to spend, let's just release this as a digital download, and they decide not to reduce the cost? So we're paying a full £70 for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's going to feel like a bit of a sting at that point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are moving to the stage where we're going to be digital only, so maybe Remedy's got ahead of the game with this one.
I still always prefer the security of physical media myself.
Put it this way. I digitally bought Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. I still bought the physical version just so I had a backup of it. And I usually find used copies of games I bought digitally as a backup in case the servers go down or something like that happens. So I definitely see the
Well, that explains your 17 copies of Ori.
I only have 4. 1 physical.
Still too many.
Fuck it, that game's awesome. That being said, Elliot, is this your most anticipated game for the rest of the year, or is it still Final Fantasy 16?
Final Fantasy 16, it still is. but this is definitely second.
Oh god, this is gonna be amazing. I'm looking forward to Alan Wake 2. I will pick it up because I want to get your opinion. I want to sort of play it alongside you and get your opinions as they're happening. So, but you get dibs on the review for that one. I will. It's
Obviously, I would fight you for those for those dibs. I would.
And since I don't fancy being stabbed in the throat, I'll let you have it.
Yay.
So next trailer was one I was actually kind of interested to see how it was going to turn out, considering what we heard about it. It's Assassin's Creed Mirage, which this got revealed in the Ubisoft Forward last September. It's meant to be a more back to basics Assassin's Creed, similar to the first couple of games, which I think the series kind of needs at this point to get more into. Get some people back. But the thing is, for me, the problem with Assassin's Creed is they've revealed too many games at once again. Like, there's so many Assassin's Creed games coming up. There's the one set in feudal Japan, Assassin's Creed Codename Red. We got the one set in China that's on mobile phones, Codename Jade. You've got the one set in the Salem Witch Trials, Codename Hex. It's too much.
Yeah.
And I mean, this one's set a bit before Valhalla. It's set in Baghdad. It's one of the characters that was in Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the main character in this one. But I looked at that trailer and I thought, this does not look like it's really innovated much on the Assassin's Creed formula. This looks very similar to pretty much any other Assassin's Creed game.
I'll give it this. At the very least, we're back to the Assassins. All the others, you could just tell... They just had the name for branding. This actually feels like it's going back to the Assassins now.
Yeah, I will say this one doesn't feel like it's just a branding thing. This does feel like an Assassin's Creed game. So,
well, especially with how batshit the Valhalla got with the DLCs, where you're fighting literal wizards.
Oh yeah, that was so bizarre. But
wait, really?
Yeah, no, seriously, they did a whole thing with the DLC where you go to Ireland.
The series makes no sense. Stop trying to be the Witcher.
I know, it's so bizarre. So that one was weird. Next trailer, game called Revenant Hills. What the?
Oh, this is the one with the cat, isn't it? The other one.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Revenant Hill, I should say. Oh yeah, this one. I remember I said to Joe, "This is the most French-looking game I've ever seen in my life." It's. I mean, I'm curious what kind of game it is because it looks art style wise, it looks amazing. But I want to know a little more about this one. I don't know about you two.
Yeah, let's just hope it's not a side scroller completely because we only see the cat going in one direction for the entire thing.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
Yeah.
Elliot, what do you think of the Revenant Hill?
I'm gonna need to see more of it, I guess. So far, not interested.
Next up was a game a lot of anime fans have been looking forward to. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink gets its release for winter 2023. I mean,
the only thing of Grand Blue Fantasy I've still seen is just the anime.
Yeah, again, I've seen the anime. It hasn't entirely won me. I'm really happy for the fans that are getting it, but this didn't do much for me. This trailer. What about you, Reese?
Yeah, not much for me either. I've only seen parts of the anime and some footage of the fighting game that came out the other year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the thing that's gotten me kind of a little interested in this, it looks very Tales-like. The combat looks a lot like you would find the kind you would find in Tales of Arise.
Yeah, I was going to say Tales of Arise was definitely on my mind when I was watching the trailer.
Yes, and if it I don't know, if it tells a story from the start, then yeah, I might pick it up.
I mean, I'm gonna wait and see on that one. Another trailer for Street Fighter 6. This comes out next Friday from when we're recording it.
This one basically showing that you can play as your own character.
Yeah, but this was all revealed in that extended look that Capcom did about a month ago. So it's like this didn't tell me anything I didn't already know.
Did it say he had like a story mode?
Yeah. They went into great detail in that presentation about what the story mode was like, how you customize your characters. You're doing missions for the different Street Fighter characters, and you're going to have a little bit of interaction with them. They gave you a little taste of it in the demo. Like, in the demo, you can actually just attack. You accidentally attack people in the street. You end up going into a one-on-one fight with them. So you can just like take on this guy going to work in the briefcase. You've accidentally hit him, and then goes, right, put him up. Like what? I just did this by accident. Why do I have to fight you now? Honestly, Street Fighter 6's single player mode is looking really good.
Well, it's good to see that Street Fighter takes place in the same world as Yakuza.
Yeah,
where everyone on the street just wants to fight you.
Yeah, seriously, they're borrowing a lot from Yakuza with the single player for Street Fighter 6. But seriously, Street Fighter 6 is really looking good for me. I'm very happy I'm getting it next Friday. But I did not need to see another trailer for it, especially because it told me nothing I didn't already know.
Yeah.
You guys picking up Street Fighter 6, or is it just a me thing?
I'll skip it.
You're gonna
I'm not really into Street Fighter. As I keep saying, I want a new Soul Calibur. That's my fighting series.
The thing is, for me, Street Fighter has one of my favourite storylines in a fighting game, so that's one of the reasons I'm picking it up.
Again, Soul Calibur for me.
And Tekken for me.
Yeah, Tekken has got amazing stories in that one, even if they are ridiculous. Game I really like the look of next, though. It looks like it's a Metroidvania called Ultros. It's coming out in 2024.
Yeah, this art style looks like I'm on an acid trip.
Yeah, it does. It also reminded me a lot of a more colourful version of Scorn.
Gives me kind of a sort of trippy Dead Cells vibes.
Yeah.
Well, it looks interesting, I'll say that.
So this is a game called... Next thing up is a game called Tower of Fantasy.
Yeah, this is a PC game that a lot of MMO fans are looking forward to.
So this is coming now to PS5 and to PS5 and PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this and I just thought this looks like Genshin but with mechs.
That's pretty much what it is. It's another gacha-based game.
See, if I didn't play Genshin, which is... And we all know Genshin, for all the much we don't really like it, it is a decently designed game. If I'm not going to play that, why am I jumping to this? Like, put it this way, the only Genshin-like game that's had me intrigued is that one that Amazon's publishing, Blue Protocol. That one looks all right, actually, whereas this one just did nothing for me. I was kind of hoping it was Blue Protocol for a second.
I like the character. The main thing I like about these kinds of games is normally just the character design. That's really about. But I have no inclination to play them, despite them being advertised constantly. Seriously, I have no idea how sick I am of seeing Honkai Starline adverts on YouTube.
Yeah, Honkai Star Rail is gone nuts, and it hasn't even got its PS5 version out yet, which is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you can't convince me to play these things. I just...
And stop showing me the anime JPEGs. I'm not playing. I'm not that kind of weeb.
Next game...
none of us have 10 grand to spend on one waifu.
Next game up...
I don't want to liquidate my bank account so I could try and get Ganyu.
The only thing that tempted me with Genshin Impact was they added the Chibi Aloy into it. I thought that one I wouldn't mind potentially buying that, but then I realized
add Chibi Dante and you have my attention.
Then I realized I've got better things to do with my time. Dragon's Dogma 2 finally got a new trailer for it. No release date yet, but I've not played the original Dragon's Dogma. But for fans of that one, I'm very happy they got it.
I've heard a lot of people who do really like it.
Yeah, I really should give it a go at some point. Reese, have you played Dragon's Dogma?
Only a bit of the original. And it is a solid fantasy game. It is good. And it also achieves that unique summoning your friends mechanic.
Okay, I mean, it's still very readily available, so I might check out the original Dragon's Dogma.
I mean, Capcom seems to be on the roll at the minute, so I might pick this one up.
Yeah, but me and Joe actually looked at it and we went, we looked at it and said the budget, this hasn't got the highest budget in the world. It definitely felt like more of the budget went to Resident Evil and Street Fighter because those are more proven commodities.
Yeah.
Next up,
a bunch of VR stuff.
Oh no, there's one more thing before that. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2.
Yeah, VR.
Is that VR?
Help Wanted is a VR game.
So that's coming in late 2023. No, it's not. It's not coming in 2023. That game, they showed nothing of that one. At no point do I believe this will come late 2023. This is a 2024 game. I'm gonna stink a bit of my professional reputation on that one.
I mean, I don't know. You don't know from. I'm trying to think what games they could really do, because the only ones I can think of is Pizzeria Simulator and Sister Location.
I will say I will backpedal on this if we see a new trailer for it in the next couple of months. But until then, I'm gonna be like, I don't believe just from this alone we're gonna see this game come out in the end of the year. I didn't play the original Help Wanted, so
I've played a bit of the Help First Help Wanted Mate's House. I will say, it is a lot of fun.
Okay.
It is actually really good. There's actually a lot scarier than the original games.
Okay, I mean,
there's one mode that my mate Sean, he's good with horror. He gets freaked out to hell with one section.
So next one was a game called Resident Evil 4's VR mode. So we're really in the VR2 section of this game. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
What do you guys reckon of the look of VR2 Resident Evil 4?
Looks good.
We haven't really got much of it. We've mostly just got the open event scene.
It does look really good though. I really like the look of what this is going to handle. I hope we do get the whole game in VR.
I imagine we will. I feel like if we got 7 and 8 in VR, we could get Resi 4.
But that being said, why the hell did they not even give a window for when we're getting this? Because
it's in development.
Yeah, I know it's in development, but what's the release window? Is this coming out in a few months? Is this coming out next year? I mean, there might be a point where I'm just like, do you know, I don't really need to play this in VR. And the thing is, you got limited time to work with VR.
In all fairness, Resi 8, it took a year for the VR version for that to come out. I'm certain this is going to take a while.
Okay, but I really think they need to get it done by the end of 2023. I think if they don't have that, they might be in a bit of trouble.
I don't see that happening, honestly.
Next game was one that is coming out this year. It's a VR game called Arizona Sunshine. This looked rubbish.
Yeah, I thought it was like a new Postal game or something, just from the quality of it.
I just looked at that and said, oh, another generic zombie shooter, and it doesn't even look very interesting.
The closest thing I can compare it to, I guess, is Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
But the difference is Dead Island 2 is really good. That game just does not look that great.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, they've got this image of moving the head of the zombie, go blah 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 blah. Oh, fuck off. It's just it really felt like an ad campaign from years ago. It's not as bad, but it had the air of that trailer and cry like an anime fan on prom night.
Oh, Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna go. I would not go that far.
I wouldn't go that far.
I really would not go that far. Honestly, I don't think the trailer is too bad with the humor, really.
Little cringe though, if we're honest.
Yeah.
But next up, it got even worse. We got Crossfire Sierra Squad. I didn't think they want to do anything with Crossfire after Crossfire X went down so badly.
I don't remember that one.
That was that terrible Xbox exclusive first-person shooter that came out last year.
Nope.
Yeah, no, be thankful you didn't learn about that one. This one doesn't look very good either.
Yeah, it does not.
At the minute, I'm thinking you two are not going to rush out to buy a VR2 headset.
I wasn't going to before.
I have bought one, and I'm starting to feel my return on investment is not coming.
You think you realize that after PlayStation VR wasn't eh?
I'm going to go into a bit of a thing about VR2 after. Not a rant, but I'm going to go into a thing about VR2 after we get the final reveal on this section. There was Synapse, which is another game we've talked about before in a state of play. I mean, it looks like it'll be fun to play, but I don't like the minimalist art style in it. I don't know about you two.
I think it looks fine.
Yeah, looks okay. Nothing mind blowing.
I mean, I like the idea. I like the idea of it.
Well, I haven't got to wait long because it comes out July 4th. So I might buy this one and try it out, but it'll be interesting to see how it works. Then the final thing was Beat Saber is now available for VR 2.
I did not realize it wasn't beforehand.
No, because no VR1 games work on VR 2.
Also, it's coming with Queen songs.
Yeah, they're doing a
Queen.
So I actually might get that because Beat Saber's always a decent time if you can always have a bit of fun with Beat Saber.
It still stands that the best version of Beat Saber is the Oculus one because you can mod it and add any song you want.
Oh yeah, I've seen so many good ones.
I played Life Was Changed and Glory Hammer on one. It is awesome.
The one I really want to play now, which I think would be great on Beat Saber, is you know that did you the Finnish Eurovision entry? You had the really big green puffy arm jacket. That song would be hilarious on Beat Saber. Now here's the thing though. This was put up or shut up time for VR2, and they chose shut up.
Yep.
And that's the thing. They've not made VR2 exciting at all.
There's no killer app for it.
I think this confirms, I don't know if you guys want to agree with me, I think this confirms Half-Life Alyx is not coming to PSVR 2.
Yeah. It's not right now.
It can still come out.
It could, but I think by the time they start developing it, Sony's going to abandon it. I mean, they've already said VR 2 sold below their expectations, which baffled me because my attitude was the amount you're charging for this and you thought you were going to sell way more than you did. Screw you guys. You have no concept of managing your expectations. And
you say that like you're surprised. This is just half of the course in the game industry.
No, I'm surprised because Sony never went down that route. I'm expecting from people like Square Enix and from Capcom. I don't expect it from Sony because I thought they were usually quite good at managing their expectations for sales potential. They didn't with this one, and it's really weird that they didn't. And I think they're just going to abandon VR2. I think by this time next year, we're not going to hear a thing about VR2 and what it's planning. I think they're just going to get Resident Evil 4 Remake out the door, and that's it. They will just stop supporting this thing. Next up was the Bungie section of the review. So this is the first PlayStation showcase we've had since Bungie's been acquired by Sony. And first thing back, wow, this was a hell of a blast from the past. Marathon is getting rebooted.
Wait, that was a thing before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what's weird? It was a game confined to Apple computers.
Eh?
Yeah, Bungie was a big developer of games for Apple back in the day. And they made a trilogy of these in Apple computers. I think this was on my dad's Apple laptop, to be honest. So I might have played the original games when I was a kid and not remembered it.
I think it's from what I've seen online, a lot of people saw this game and thought, "Oh, this looks fun. This looks interesting." And then they saw like a description of what the game was actually like. I'm just like, actually, that doesn't sound that good at all.
I am dead excited to see what a modern Bungie will do though with this old franchise they have. Interestingly, this obviously has been developed for a little bit because it's coming to Xbox as well. So they must have been under some sort of contract that they had to release this on Xbox as well as PlayStation. Because you'd think if PlayStation didn't have to put this on Xbox, they wouldn't.
My guess is that maybe it was in development before PlayStation got them.
Yes, but if you're not under a contract to release a game on a console, you don't have to. For example, there was a PS5 version of Redfall being developed, but that plug got pulled by Xbox because they were under no contract to release a PlayStation 5 version. So, and which PlayStation fans are calling #LuckyEscape. Considering how bad Redfall turned out. But as of this morning, it's not the worst reviewed game of the year on Metacritic.
Oh?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings Gollum came out and it's got a 36. That's how bad Gollum's turned out.
Oh boy.
But so Marathon
What I'm doing this weekend.
but it's so anyway, put it this way, IGN gave it a 2 out of 10.
Yep, that's what I'm doing this weekend.
No, thanks.
Hey, Forspoken is currently the worst game I played this year. I want to forget that game, not remember it.
But Ali, you also need to play the Forspoken DLC now.
Oh God. So.
Hey, hand me that bleach.
But interestingly, you can play the original Marathon trilogy for free. It's on the Windows Store, I believe. There is a way to play these things legally for free right now. You can get the original trilogy because Apple and Bungie don't give a shit about them.
Okay, yeah, I've got that. The answer to do that is quite simple. Apple emulator.
Do you know what's weird though? The only console releases of the original games were on the Apple Pippin.
Which no one remembers.
No one remembers the Apple Pippin. The one time Apple decided to make a games console and it flopped hard.
Well, seeing as it's called a Pippin, that's one thing to say.
And also, it was EA was involved in the construction of the console, so that didn't help things either. So fine. So yeah, I'm interested to see what a modern Bungie will do with that franchise, considering this was Apple's answer to Doom.
Yeah.
Next, then they released a new trailer for Destiny 2: The Final Shape. I really
almost sounds like they're saying this is going to be the final expansion with the name.
See, that to me makes me want to go, do you know what? Maybe now's the time to get into Destiny 2 because it'll all be laid out in front of me and I can just tackle it in a nice order. But at the same time...
Because the only thing I know is that the massive orb is gone. It's now a giant triangle.
Here's the thing
I saw in this teaser.
The thing is, though, Destiny, from what I've heard, is really great in multiplayer, and I don't really have friends that play Destiny 2. I just think it'll be one of those, I just had to play it almost non-stop, and I just don't have the focus and the energy for that, if I'm honest. Like, I've already got one games as a service game on my PlayStation right now, which is Fall Guys, and I think that's enough for me.
I'm excited for Destiny players. I have a friend who really likes Destiny 2, and my brother played it for a while.
Yeah, and from what I've seen of it, it's really good. I just wish I don't have the time to really get into it. It's the same reason I don't play Final Fantasy 14.
He doesn't have the time. He's too busy getting the Godzilla suit in Fall Guys.
I already bought that, thank you. And but I'm playing the Sonic suit at the minute. And
bitch.
I took the DNA test. I'm 100% that bitch. And incidentally, incidentally though, I will say for Destiny fans, I'm really happy for you. If I had the time for a big game like this, I'd play Final Fantasy 14 because I'm sure I'd love Final Fantasy 14 if I could put all my time and effort into it.
I mean, I already have Splatoon 3, so I'm already locked.
And we're getting a bunch of new content for Splatoon 3. Congratulations on winning the last Splatfest and crushing my team, Elliot.
Yeah, Hyrule is dead. Ganon has won.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. I just sent a gift to you guys saying Team Courage right now, and it's Lenny and Carl going, "We suck," because we lost almost every single match we were in. Next up,
our matches were somehow kind of 50-50.
Next game was a game coming out in 2024. It's from Firewalk Studio. This is another one that Sony bought the studio before they'd ever make a game, so this is what they were after. And it's a game called Concord. I've no idea what this game is about.
Well, there's no CG trailer, so we don't really know.
Yeah. I saw everything on, I saw the inside of a spaceship, and I hate myself for thinking this, but my first thought was Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, I wish.
I would have loved that. I want a second Guardians of the Galaxy game so bad. So that game was amazing.
Dear Embracer.
And hell, I'm gonna say now, even with Guardians 3 out, that game still has the best Guardians story.
Okay. Shall we think? What do you guys think about? Do you reckon you want? I want to see more Concord before I make a judgment on it.
Yeah, I want to see more of it.
But
you probably have an opinion on just a CGI trailer.
Or I will give the trailer this. It has the best space burger I've ever seen.
So then there was then there was a bunch of non-game related stuff. So they did they repeated a trailer for the Gran Turismo movie that's coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah, I thought that was a series originally. I didn't realize that was a film.
Yeah, they were originally going to make it a series, and they decided, fuck it, let's make it a film.
It makes more sense. It makes more sense. I don't know how you would get like a series out of a race car.
How the
it's
hell?
More if it's a movie format.
How much money did they pay Orlando Bloom to be in this? Because he's got way more professional integrity than being. This does not look very good, if I'm honest.
I don't even know.
Like a racing film.
I don't even know what they were trying to imply. Like the guy's playing the game and driving a car at the same time.
Well,
I don't know.
The plot line is that Sony have run this tournament that whoever's really good at Gran Turismo can have a chance to try out for this team. And so it's supposedly based on a true story, but I think that's doing a lot of heavy lifting for this one.
Oh yeah, do you know what else is based on real events? Fatal Frame. Ooh.
Yeah, no, Fatal Frame is but then we come into the more substantial things. So they showed off a bit of new hardware. So they've got this new. So they've showed off a bunch of earbuds for the PlayStation 5. No thanks, I've already got really good headphones with the Echo ones.
I might get them.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Echo...
They're just there. I mean, they're earbuds. I can use them for my phone.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I've already got the Apple versions for my iPhone, and two, I hate the way most earbuds go because they just they go way too far in your ear, and they don't feel comfortable to me. So that's
no, I like wearing earbuds. I think they're fine. I mean, I prefer the over-the-ear ones, but it's not like them.
Yeah, but if I was going to play the PlayStation 5, I've got the Echo headset, and that's a really good headphone, so I think I'll stick with that for now. But they also showed off then a handheld called Project Q that runs on... So it's not it's a working title at the minute. It runs on the cloud technology, so it's basically a portable Wi-Fi connection to your PlayStation 5. And this is... do you mind if I go first on this one? This is the dumbest idea for a handheld that I've ever heard.
It's portable, even though it requires you to stream it.
It's just the Wii U again.
Yeah, it's the Wii U. And the fact of the matter... Here's the thing, though. With I'm wondering, so what I said to explain this was... If I went to Peterborough to visit my family, I couldn't play it on the train. I'd have to wait till I got to my family's house, connect to their Wi-Fi, and then I can stream my games to my PlayStation games to this console. Maybe.
My one thought is that maybe, I mean, if other people are using a TV, you could just use it. You could use that to play games.
But that's such a specific circumstance, especially considering that this thing is going to be at least £200, if not more. So, my thought process was, I just don't see a scenario where I want to play this. It does suggest that report about PlayStation looking more into cloud technology is accurate, but I think that I thought I just don't see a reason to buy this. I can't think of a reason I'd ever want to own this. What about you two?
Might wait for more info.
What about you, Reese?
Honestly,
I'm not bothered about it.
No,
it just seems like a gimmick.
Like, if I was going to buy another portable device, I'd get a Steam Deck because I'd get a whole bunch of really good games I could play anytime.
You'd also get the worst version of Elden Ring.
Oh god, imagine trying to play Elden Ring on a train. You think Tears of the Kingdom's battery life is small?
Oh yeah, I mean you can already play Dark Souls on the train.
We finally got though an extended look at Spider-Man 2.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
So amazing.
It looks so good, dude. Oh my god, it looks amazing.
And it's why I've said to everyone, it's why I've just felt like I've said to everyone who's saying that this is the Xbots that are saying this is just more DLC. I mean, oh, shut up.
Yes, like I still just hate that. As I keep saying though, those people don't care. They just want a bitch.
Yeah. Just jealous.
Also, news just in, Disgaea 7 is launching October 3rd.
Hey.
Didn't even know we were going to Sky 7. Cool.
Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled talk. I will say the Venom powers that you were going to get to control look amazing.
Oh, they are so cool, dude. The symbiote powers look so awesome.
And it's that brilliant way that it looks like we're going to swap between Peter Parker and Miles Morales. That looks amazing. We've confirmed a few new villains. We've got Kraven the Hunter and the Lizard is in this. I think they said the Prowler is going to be in this one because he was on that screen that Kraven was looking at. We've got
and also Wraith is new as well.
Oh, Wraith is coming into the thing, because we had Prowler in Miles Morales. We now got Wraith in this one. We're gonna get Black Cat's coming back.
Yeah.
I've got it kind of feels like this is based a bit on Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That and Spider-Man Blue. It appears to be borrowing quite a bit from Spider-Man Blue, that written by Jeff Loeb. Which, if you haven't read that one, that's a really good Spider-Man story. Incidentally, though, do we think we're going to control... Considering we got the Venom powers, and eventually, obviously, we're going to get the Venom powers taken away from us so that Venom becomes a thing in the storyline. Do we think at that point we're going to get to control Venom?
I don't think so.
No, I don't really think so.
I think that would be weird, though, considering that you'd have all these power sets, and then halfway through the game, you're going to get all of them taken away from you.
I feel like with the powers, those powers they'll more just be for story sections. I feel like what I'm not saying this is just my theory. I'm not saying anything. This is actually going to happen. I feel like when Peter gets possessed by Venom, he's going to we're basically going to be playing in the overworld as Miles exclusively for a while.
Okay, that could be possible. I think they've come up with a good way, though, to make Peter not feel like a weaker version of Miles. Because when we got to play Miles Morales, he had a lot more combat and power potential. So it would have felt weird going back to Peter Parker at that point. But that being said, it's...
Well, I mean, I think that I could be wrong because I haven't really played a massive amount. I still haven't finished Miles Morales, but I think Miles has the powers, meanwhile Peter has the gadgets. It's kind of the
idea that's how it plays out.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm interested to see what this whole thing will be like. We didn't get a concrete release date. We
got a release window, which I think I'm happy enough for that.
Fall 2023, and I think it will make fall 2023. I don't think this is one where it's going to get delayed to next year.
I'm going with the prediction it's going to be a November game, personally.
See, I thought it was September until this presentation. I think now you're right, it is early November, and I think it was originally planned to be September, but they've made a tactical move to avoid competing with Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Starfield came in early with that September release, and they've now sort of thrown the gauntlet down to say, you want to come out in September, this is what you're competing with. Reese, what do you reckon? When does Spider-Man 2 release?
Well, I was expecting sometime around Halloween, since we have the inclusion of Venom and everything, but it may be a bit later now.
Yeah.
Hang on, what's the last Friday of October? Let me just double check that. Stop telling me my battery's on 10%. See, October... The last Friday of October is October the 27th. I could see October 27th maybe being Spider-Man 2's release date, but I don't think it is. I think that's Silent Hill 2's release date.
I still don't fully believe Silent Hill 2 is going to be coming out this year, honestly.
You think Silent Hill 2 is 2024?
Yeah, just because we haven't really seen much of it at this point.
I'm going to wait on it. I think if we don't see it in the next couple of weeks...
I'd say if it's not at Summer's Games Fest, it's probably going to be next year.
I think the latest it can go... I can go a little bit later. I think the latest it can go without being revealed is Gamescom.
Yeah.
Because that would be a huge thing for Konami to put on the floor of Gamescom, saying, here's a trailer for Silent Hill 2, the release date. By the way, go on the floor. You get to play a little bit of Gamescom. That line's going to be massive. So So how do we? What are your thoughts on? I'm going to ask Reese first because he's a bit more of a Spider-Man fan than me. What do you think of the look of Spider-Man 2?
Oh, it looks absolutely brilliant. I'm super impressed by it.
Elliot, what do you reckon of Silent Hill 2? It's not Silent Hill, it's Spider-Man 2.
If it's as good as the trailer makes it look, it's 100% a Game of the Year contender. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to look at the Game Awards and it's going to be Spider-Man 2. I can imagine it'd be Spider-Man 2, Tears of the Kingdom, and Resident Evil 4. If it's as good as it looks there, that's a guaranteed nomination.
But I mean, holy shit, this is going to be a good year for gaming if this does stick to its full release date. Because, like, Final Fantasy 16, Resident Evil 4, Tears of the Kingdom, and now Spider-Man 2. Yeah, this is going to be great. This is a fantastic year.
And, of course, add into that Alan Wake 2, Starfield.
Yes. Well,
I really think Starfield's going to be really good if it can nail it.
Well, I mean, it's basically what the Xbox is going to be relying on now, let's be honest.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to be talking quite a bit about Starfield and Xbox's future when we do our podcast on the Xbox showcase in a couple of weeks. But I'm looking to those... but that being said, Sony's only need one thing. Sony needs this to come out this year. They don't really have much of an option because they don't really have anything else first party for really the rest of the year. I'm going to say at this point. So so that was the PlayStation Showcase. I'm going to start with you, Elliot. How did you feel the PlayStation Showcase went?
I thought it was pretty good. I think a lot of people online who say it was disappointing are just... They're just picky bitches. Like, I thought it was fine.
Reese, what do you think?
I'd say it was above average. There was a few bright spots, but overall there wasn't that much that stood out.
I'm gonna say good, not great. The good spots though were really good. Like MGS3. MGS3 and the MGS creation, great. Spider-Man 2 looks amazing. I really thought there was...
Alan Wake 2, that looks fantastic. Phantom Blade Zero, really good.
Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm very happy that's got a release now. Cat Quest looks great. The Plucky Squire looks fantastic. Adorable. I feel though there was a lot missing here that I kind of wanted more updates on. I wasn't expecting to see like Sony Santa Monica's new game, for example. But for example, one I was really expecting to see here, and I'm really surprised it's not, was Stellar Blade.
Yeah, I was really expecting to see that one.
So I think that's delayed to 2024 now. I really think it is.
Unless they, for some reason, decide to show it off a Summer Game Fest instead.
Yeah, but I think if it's not there, I'm dead worried about what's... I don't reckon that... I'm not dead worried because I think that game's going to run fine, but I think there's been a delay to 2024 at that point. First party wise, was there anything else first party they could have shown? Like Wolverine, I wasn't expecting to see at this thing.
No.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things online and seen a lot of people complaining that was like way too high expectations. Like some people were saying, "Oh, we did get Silent Hill 2 and New Ghost of Tsushima, no Last of Us Part 3." I was just thinking, come on, were you really expecting all that in one presentation?
Can I say when I was...
Bloodborne 2?
Bloodborne I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to see... there was a few things, though, I think they could have showed up. Like, the one that I'm a little concerned with that they haven't given us an update on it, and they refuse to give us an update on it, is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake.
We know with Aspire, they've been taken off the project now.
Aspire's been taken off the project, but Embracer hasn't mentioned who's doing the new one, and they refuse to comment on the status of it.
Yeah.
From what I've heard... from people who are in the knowledge of it, that game's in very serious development trouble at the minute, and it might even go as far as being cancelled.
Yeah.
So I would say if we don't get an update on that soon, we are in very serious trouble with that game. I want to know what was so bad that Aspyr was booted off the project this early.
Well, with Aspyr, they've only really been porting the old games to modern systems. They've not made a game from the ground up themselves yet.
Okay, so we got all that sorted. Let's talk. So Aspyr, we got a spot by. We talked about that one. I think. Is there any? What else can we think of that really good games that weren't here? From Sega, I was kind of hoping we'd see Jet Set Radio, the new Jet Set Radio, but there's plenty of time to see that.
I don't even know they were making one.
No, there's a new Jet Set Radio that's pretty much complete apparently.
Yeah.
So I'm dead excited to see that. I love a bit of Jet Set Radio. Obviously, we already talked about Persona, that we said we weren't expecting to see anything Persona related in this. Let's talk that. What else is Sony first party that they could have shown off? Because there's not. Not first party, but I think the one that people were also disappointed was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
There's no way we're getting anything from that yet. They're still promoting 16, for God's sake.
Yeah, no, I was with you on that one. They don't need to show 7 Rebirth yet.
That's another one of the things that people were complaining about. Oh, and no new 7 remake. We're still getting 16. Calm down.
Yeah, let 16 have its time in the sun. I'm with you. Though from what I've heard, Sony and Square Enix are no longer looking at a holiday 2023 as the time they're looking to release 7 Rebirth. They're now looking to release it like March, April time.
I was expecting them to anyway. Honestly, I was expecting it like late next year at the earliest.
No, apparently it's coming along quite well, and it will probably actually release early 2024, not late 2024. I was with you. I thought it was going to be late 2024, but apparently it's progressing quite well. So is there anything else we can think of? There's obviously like Sony Santa Monica's new game was too soon to show off. Housemarque's new game is too soon to show off. Do you know what I found surprising? The VR, this isn't a VR thing apparently, is no new Astrobot game for VR. I thought that would be one you'd want to get something.
Oh yeah.
Surely Team Asobi's had time to work on a new Astrobot game.
I'm still working on the one for the PS6.
You just know that's accurate. What other than that, one of the things I have noticed is that Sony's got a lot of their first party games out very soon into the life cycle of the PS5. So they're struggling to get a massive first party release calendar going forwards, because if you think about it, look at what's look at the games they've just released. Like Naughty Dog, it hasn't been that long since their last release, so they obviously are going to not take a while. You've got let's take for example Blue Point Games. It hasn't been. Obviously Blue Point's a different exception because it's only been 3 years since Demon Souls remake.
One that you keep going on that you're certain we're gonna get. New Gravity Rush.
No, I said I was hopeful of it. I wasn't certain that exists. I was hoping we'd get a new Gravity Rush, but I don't. No, I think they're waiting to see how the series turns out with that one. What's coming up? What you've got, for example, Sucker Punch. They've just finished Ghost of Tsushima. They're obviously going to take a while for their next one. You're going to be waiting a while on. So I feel like we might be going a bit of a longer gaps now from Sony first party releases. So how does that? I mean, do you guys still have confidence in the PlayStation 5 lineup going forwards?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Why wouldn't I?
It's weird because I feel like Microsoft's in a very similar position, and people are losing confidence in that lineup. So I find
the difference is Sony with the PS5 so far. Sony has had a good track record. Xbox hasn't.
Yeah, no. Well, I would say Xbox has a decent track record because they've had Forza Horizon 5 has been really good. Hi-Fi Rush has been really good. Yeah, they've had a blip with Redfall and Minecraft Legends, but
yeah, but even before that, for example, Halo Infinite's not been that great.
No, Halo Infinite's not been that great.
The player base is dead for that.
They've struggled to get first party releases out. Starfield is kind of a bit of a make or break for them at this point. Weirdly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of the main thought. Sony, we don't know what's coming out for them later down the line, but you can say that with a lot of other companies, like for example, like Nintendo, for example. Outside of like, we don't really know what they have like very late into next year. The only thing I can think of that's coming up for them is Pikmin 4.
Yeah, they obviously are going to have a few things to go on the Switch before their next console comes out. So, for example, they're probably going to have that F-Zero GX remaster.
I mean, also with Sony, we're only halfway through the PS5's life. I'm certain we're going to get a lot more down the line.
Do you guys think... Actually, that's the thing I forgot to ask with the Project Q thing. Do you guys think the PS5 Pro rumours are strengthened with the fact that Project Q has turned out to be real?
Not really.
I agree. I don't think it has. I think a lot of people are saying, we're definitely getting a PS5 Pro now. I think they've experimented with the idea of a PS5 Pro, but I don't know if it's ever going to see the light of day. But the only thing is, I will really consider it as a possibility if in the next few weeks we see that detachable disc drive for the digital PS5 become a thing.
That would be, again, that's pointless.
I know it's pointless, but again, that's been the heavy rumor. If that comes out, then I'm going to be like, okay, there really might be something in this PS5 Pro thing now.
Okay, no, that's not what I'd be thinking. If they did that, I would just be thinking, wow, they are really wasting their resources.
Put it this way, if that disc drive is more than £100, then you really are wasting at that point, because it's just like, just buy the PS5 disc version at that point. If you can afford both of them, then you can afford the disc drive. The only way it would make sense is if it's £50, because then you are saving £50 on buying a PS5 with the disc drive installed.
The only thing that would even really be useful for is people who have who already have the digital only PS5
and want to buy a bunch of PS4 discs, for example.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason I can say. Most of the PS4 library is available digitally. I don't see why you'd be buying this. So that's our thoughts on the PS5 showcase. We're back tomorrow with our an episode of Anime Amigos. So that's
cool. We will have Ren with us.
So we'll have Ren with us. The next one of these we're doing is in it's in a couple of weeks actually, because we're going to talk Summer Games Fest.
AKA the Jeff Kim.
We'll get there in the end.
Yep.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley
Jeff Keighley show, basically.
The Jeff Keighley comathon.
We are also going to do the Xbox showcase later that week. But we have decided, I think we've decided between us that we're not going to do Ubisoft Forward because it's not part of E3 and we don't feel any obligation to cover that one.
Yeah.
Also, it's Ubisoft. Who cares?
I'm so past the point of caring with Ubisoft at this point. Incidentally, things come up on Twitter from Nintendo asking us what our favorite quote from Xenoblade.
It's a Xenoblade. You are addicted to Twitter.
I love the idea. So I want to get this one from Reese now. What's your favorite quote from the Xenoblade series?
Well, you've always got to go with your classic of it's Rhyme Time.
Rhyme Time is great. I think just because I've had to hear it so many times, I'm now addicted to I'm the girl with the goal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll see you obviously for Summer Games.
My favorite quote is "Someone get me out of the jar. Calvin won't let me leave."
So on that weird note, we'll see you for Anime Amigos and Summer Games Fest in the next coming days. Thank you guys. Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye, everyone.